found himself on a top 10 list, but it's probably not the one he wanted to be on. ESPN and Football Insiders released their top 10 fluke seasons for quarterbacks going back to 1986. Dak's rookie season in 2016 came in at number 10. The list points out that the only reason Dak's numbers have stayed steady is because his pass attempts have gone up each season. It also points out Prescott's QBR has dropped every year since 2016. So we're now joined by FS1 NFL analyst James Harrison. Good to have you. But first, Shannon, I'm going to start with you. Do you agree that Dak's rookie season was a fluke?
Hold on. Are you saying fluke with a K or fluke? Because I don't think anybody playing over there, Skip Bayless.
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn.
You're asking me a question,
I asked Jenny.
Okay.
Your name is not Jenny. You got to change, but it doesn't say
with
Jenny.
a K.
Oh, wait, let me see.
Yes, in case you're wondering, guys.
I forgot. Lil Wayne, thank you.
Oh, Skip Bayless.
No, thank you.
Luke, they say your guy. The guy that you say is Brady S. had one of the flukiest seasons in NFL history.
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn just yet. Can I just have a moment? Now, you just told me a minute ago, and I wrote it down. You say, it looks like to me that the number of games that he's missed is going up. It also looks like, Skip, did you know this? QBR. Going down. Sack. No, I want to get the sack later. Interception. Had for his rookie year 23-4. Average 12 the last two seasons. Going up. QBR, Skip. Going down. Yards per attempt. Going down. Sacks. 25, 32, 56. You know, Pro Football Focus said 15 of those 56 sacks was directly attributed to Dak Prescott.
My turn?
And it's not your turn yet. Why you keep interrupting? I'm going to have to ask you to go sit in the hall if you keep interrupting. You're not supposed to interrupt the teacher.
Take a timeout.
Yes.
My best here.
And it's only going to get worse because they know his limitations. This is a running football team. It always has and always will be. And as long as they can take Zeke away and keep that play action, because they play action, I mean, guys got to come down because you got to try to stop Zeke. But numbers don't lie. One of the flukiest seasons, 100 years. James, you know they've been playing football for 100 years?
100 years.
And for 99 of those years, this was one of the 10 flukiest seasons in NFL history. And I don't really know what else to tell you, Skip, but I'm sorry that it happened, that you so devout, you bought in so hard, and it hurt so much to know it was a fluke.
So I want to hear if James Harrison buys into the foolishness I just heard.
I do not buy into the stuff that I just heard. But I don't consider it a fluke because I don't think he had the greatest season. Starting from...
You're saying that all three of them.
All of them were the same thing. The man, 19 completions a game from 16, 17, 22, and 18. It's not really that much of a drop. His attempts went up. His sacks went up. His interceptions went up. So, I mean, the only big difference is he went 13-3 with the Cowboys, and they hadn't done nothing. So you just went crazy about this.
Where'd they go last year? Help me out.
They went
10-6.
10-6.
Who won the division last year?
They had Zeke back. They had Zeke back.
Right.
And when they didn't make it, Zeke was suspended for a few games, so he missed 6 games and only played in 10. So Dak is not really doing it. I feel like I said before, you can get a quarterback in here out of the draft that could come in here and give me 19 completions a game and hand the ball off.
Would you be so bold as to go so far as to say Dak Prescott is a bust?
I wouldn't say he's a bust because they didn't draft him as a first rounder.
Is he trash? Is he garbage? Is he... Give me something. Put a label on him.
Litter.
He's litter.
Yeah, you got it wrong. You know, you throwing
average. He's average.
He's average. Dak Prescott.
That's what everybody
Average,
says, Skip.
James Harrison.
He's average.
What do you say, litter?
Average.
Shannon Sharp, Hall of Famer, says litter. Dak Prescott is litter. I want that on tape.
Yeah, that's
because it's pretty hard.
He ain't trash. He ain't trash, but you keep comparing him with the top five.
When you put him up there with like Tom and all that, it's like, now I gotta say, or he has to say he's trash because that's
I cannot
just
tell you how much I love this from my quarterback. I love what you said, and I love even more the litter that you just deposited right here in the middle of this table because it just spilled right out of your mouth. My quarterback, more and more by the day, becomes the most underrated, underappreciated, and underhyped quarterback in the National Football League. This is utter blasphemy, what I just heard here. It's sacrilegious, and he will make you eat all the crow that you desire. It'll be a buffet of crow all year long. Every Monday on Undisputed, everybody is welcome. It's all you can eat crow for these two right here. Here's what happened last year. Tell me how flukish last year was.
Okay.
For the first 8 games last year, Dak Prescott had literally nobody to throw to. There was no number 1 wideout. And guess who got the most targets over the first 8 games of the year? The running back did. The most balls were thrown to number 21, who happens to be Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes.
There's nobody else to throw to him. By the way, Zeke is still running the football through the first 8 games. Guess what the record was? 3-5. And guess what Jerry Jones did? Thank you. He went out and got Amari Cooper, and he spent a lot of money and a lot of stuff for him because he spent a first-round draft pick for him, and it was worth every last cent of it. Because when Amari came in, Dak's life changed because he finally had a legit number 1 who could threaten the defense and occasionally, dare I say, draw a double team. And what happened from that point on? Look at Dak Prescott's flukish numbers last year for the back half of the season.
They didn't say last year. They said 16 was
okay, but no, but they're saying 16. They're saying last year was a bad year.
Are we taking the whole year or just part of the year?
16 was a great year. But it was the best year any rookie quarterback has ever played.
That's what I'm saying.
You can just, I dare you to go look at RG3's rookie year, which I loved in Washington. It was not better than Dak's rookie year. So they're going to disqualify that one because of 17 and 18.
Right.
So listen what happened for the last 8 games last year. Dak Prescott was 3rd in the National Football League in completions. He was 4th in yards thrown, yards that he threw for. He was 5th in air distance of completions, how far the pass goes before it's caught. He was 5th in the whole National Football League, and he was tied for 4th in deep pass touchdowns because he wasn't dinking and dacking once he got Amari Cooper. And he capped it off by outplaying Russell Wilson in QBR, whatever stat you want, in a playoff game that he won. And then he went to L.A. and he dramatically outplayed via QBR Jared Goff. In fact, Dak Prescott, my quarterback, in the bad year he had last year, wound up in the playoffs having the number 1 overall QBR of any quarterback, including Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. Number 1 QBR. So I look at, and I'm going to have to bring it up again, no quarterback over the last 3 years has more fourth-quarter game-winning drives than my quarterback. No quarterback in the history of this league in his first 3 years in the league has
no quarterback plays so bad in the first 3 quarters that they need to be able to have to do that.
Well, I don't care. There are 4 quarters in a football game. I think
and it's a full season.
Okay, and all he's done is win the division 2 out of 3 years. And the year that was so bad in 17, he lost his left tackle and they had no backup, and that was Jerry Jones' fault. And then he lost his running back, and then he lost the guts of the defense, who was Sean Lee, the captain of the defense.
James, you notice every time when things don't go his way, it's somebody else's fault. It's Sean Lee, it's Tyron Smith, it's Zeke. What about
second best record in the league over the last 3 years belongs to Dak Prescott, who has become one of the great leaders in this league.
It was other people on that team, too. Like, it's, like you said, it's not an eye, but
does leadership count at the quarterback position? Ask Carson Wentz.
Let me ask you this, Skip. Is that you keep saying that Dak, they're saying, okay, 16, that's an outlier. When you look at what has transpired since then, his sack total is going up.
What transpired last year over the last 8 games with Amari Cooper was extraordinary. It was better than 16.
And you know what, Skip? Even though after he got Amari Cooper, Zeke Elliott averaged more catches per game than Amari. So he was still, yes, he did.
I don't think he did.
I promise you.
Okay.
Because Zeke missed the last game of the season.
Okay.
And Amari had 1 more catch.
But Dak goes 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions over the last 8 games. And then I'm not even throwing in the playoff game. He has turned into one of the most underestimated big game, big play playmakers in the league. What happened on 3rd and 18 late in the Seattle game? Do you remember?
I can throw a swing pass.
Zeke Elliott had 77 catches.
Man, I've seen him play Aaron Rodgers 3 times. Dak's QBR is an average 80 to Aaron's 62. He outplayed him. He didn't win the game because they weren't good enough to win 2 games.
Why they got Dak?
Okay, Mason crossbar.
Dak should be able to come through and get that done. Like you just said, he could do it with his legs. You just showed he could have ran the ball.
Diminished every year. Look at what he did against Aaron Rodgers.
That's 1 game. That's it over the course of the season.
Guess what he did in that terrible year last year?
What'd he do?
He beat Carson Wentz twice, the reigning Super Bowl champs. And guess how he did it? In the 2 fourth quarters and the overtime. Grand total he threw for of 331 yards, 4 touchdowns and no interceptions on completing 24 of 28.
And
but he can't
only threw for over 300 yards in 6 games,
but he can't throw.
Out of 3 years.
They're a running football team. They're just like
oh my God, Skip, come on.
They're just like, is Troy Aikman in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Skip.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Was he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Answer me this.
Trust me,
Answer me this.
Dak
Answer me this.
throws more than Troy does.
Listen.
Dak throws
If
more
Tony
than Troy
Romo hadn't got hurt, if Tony Romo hadn't got hurt, do you think they would have did better? If Tony Romo hadn't got hurt and Romo was the quarterback, you think they would have did a lot better with Romo?
It'd be a disaster. It'd be a disaster.
You turned on Tony Romo too?
I turned on him about 10 years ago. I told you he was an accident waiting to happen. I coined the phrase.
Are you serious?
Yes, I was the first one to say.
Skip.
You're telling me they would have did nowhere
What have I told you? The classic Romo game.
Tony Romo can't hand the ball off to Zeke? Like, come on. And he got a better arm. He can read things better.
Remember when he had
you don't know your history.
You skip. You remember DeMarco Murray? You remember what Tony Romo did at 12-4? The season
that took the onus off Tony because he was handing it off to DeMarco.
It takes the onus off Zeke because he handed it to the Zeke.
1,600 the first
Romo was an interception waiting to happen at the most critical moment. What did I tell you about the Peyton game? You remember the Peyton game?
I do remember.
2013 or 12? 2012. It's the classic game was it at Texas? No, it was Jerry World. It was Jerry World. And it ends up 51-48.
Yeah.
And Tony throws for 506. Tom Brady threw for 505.
Man, nobody cares about that.
But Tony throws for 506, and right when you least expected it, he throws it to Danny Trevathan, who happened to be in orange and blue that day at Jerry World.
Skip,
right?
Skip.
Game over. Walk-off field goal.
All they're saying is that when they look at the numbers, they look at that season, he's more apt to be like 17, 18 moving forward than anything like 16. That's all they're saying, Skip.
Did you see? You didn't
and
watch
I'm saying I don't
down
think
the
16
stretch
was
last
so
year.
great.
He took off. He arrived.
He took off where? Where'd he go?
He went into another echelon last year.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Okay,
and where was your man Zeke? Wow. He's my man. But where was he in the playoff game at L.A.?
You know, Skip, that's one game. But did he not show up against Seattle?
My defense.
I mean, 14.
Oh my goodness.
What was it? 1,434 yards last year for
Let the league rush it again.
Hey, I have told him from the start, Zeke is the best running back in football, and he has disagreed at every turn.
I like Saquon now.
No, he liked Le'Veon for a while, right?
It makes me like Le'Veon was a bum.
Le'Veon. I like Zeke. I give you that. They are a balanced football team. They run it and they throw it. Just like Troy Aikman's dominating Cowboys of the 1990s.
They are a balanced football team, but here's the scale. Run, pass.
No, it is not.
Yep.
Did you see how they took off? You realize they went 7-1 down the stretch? They went from 3-5 to 7-1. Why was that? Dak to Amari. That's what carried this team all the way home. That's how they beat Seattle in a game. You picked Seattle to win.
I did, Skip, but you do realize that Zeke Elliott led the league in rushing those last 8 games that he was there, right?
He's tremendous. He's the best running back in football. It's a dual threat, but you have to have the guy who can throw it. He can really throw it.
So when
and if you're in trouble against the defending Super Bowl champions, who pulls it out in the fourth quarter?
That defense did.
Oh,
Wolf Hunter picked him. The Wolf Hunter, the defense did. Now you don't want to give the defense any credit.
You don't want to give nobody no credit.
That's old deer in the headlights wins. That's what that was.
Oh, so that's it.
Wow.
As much as I don't want this one to end, does Patrick Mahomes have the right mindset to lead the Chiefs to a Super Bowl? You're going to join us in a bit
That has a quarterback.
to talk more. This one was a good time. We'll be right back.